Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm gonna show you how we can use chain rule for finding derivatives of composite functions from the table. In this given table, the values of f, g, f prime and g prime is given. For example, when x equals 3, the value of the function f when x is 3 is given 1. Or for example, when x is 3, the value of f prime is 8. So f prime of 3 is 8. And the other information that is given here. From this information, we want to find these values. H prime of 3, k prime at 1, f prime at 2, and finally g prime at 3. If h of x is f of g of x, find h prime, derivative of h, when x is 3. So let us start with this one. H of x is f of g of x. If we want to find derivative of h, we have to use chain rule, because h of x is f of g of x, and here as you can see, g of x is inside of f. So g of x is the inside function and f is the outside function. So for finding derivative of h, we use chain rule. What was chain rule? When you want to find derivative of a function, take derivative of the outside function and then multiply it by derivative of the inside function. Here the outside function is f, so derivative of the outside function first. Derivative of f is f prime, and leave the inside. Then multiply by the derivative of inside. The inside is g of x, and derivative of g of x is g prime of x. But we want to find h prime when x is 3. So we have f prime of g of 3 times by g prime of 3. Now let's take a look at the given table to find these values. First, let's find what is g prime at 3. When x is 3, the g prime value is 5. So this value is 5. For finding this value, first we have to find what is g of 3. When x is 3, g of 3 is given 2. So the value of g of 3 is 2. But we have to find f prime at 2. For finding this value, we need f prime at 2. When x is 2, f prime value is negative 3. So this value is negative 3. So for finding this value, first you have to find the value of the inside, then you have to find the value of f prime at that new value. If we multiply negative 3 by 5, we get h prime of 3 equals negative 15. This multiplies by this, and h prime of 3 is negative 15. Next question. If k of x equals g of f of x, find k prime at 1. So the function k is defined as g of f of x. First, we have to find k prime of x. Derivative of k. Take derivative of the outside function. The outside is g, and derivative of the outside is g prime. Leave the inside for itself. Multiply by derivative of the inside, f prime of x. Now we have to plug in 1 because we want to find k prime of 1. So we have k prime of 1 equals g prime of f of 1 times by f prime of 1. What is f prime of 1? The value of the f prime when x is 1. When x is 1, the value of f prime is 6. So this value is 6. First, again, we have to find what is f of 1. When x is 1, f of 1 is 1. When x is 1, the value of the function f is 1. So f of 1 is 1. But we have to find what is g prime of 1, g prime at 1. Again, when x is 1, the g prime value is -4. So the value of g prime of 1 is -4. So this value is -4. If we multiply -4 by 6, we get -24 as the value of k prime of 1. Now we have this one, f of x, the capital F of x equals f of x. Find f prime of 2. So we have f of x as f of x. First, we have to find f prime of x, the derivative of the function f. For finding the derivative of f, we have to use again chain rule. Take the derivative of the outside function. The outside function here is f. F prime of f of x, leave the inside. Multiply by derivative of the inside. Derivative of inside is f prime of x. Now we want to find f prime at 2. So we have to substitute 2 for x. F prime of 2 would be equal to f prime of f of 2 times by f prime of 2. First, let's see what is f prime of 2. When x is 2, f prime is -3. So this value is -3. Let's see what is f of 2. When x is 2, f of 2, as you can see here, when x is 2, f of 2 is given 3. So this value is 3. F prime of 3, we have to find f prime at 3. When x is 3, f prime of 3 is 8. When x is 3, f prime at 3 is 8. So the value of all of this is 8. Now if we multiply 8 by -3, we can find f prime of 2, and it equals -24. Now we want to answer this last question. If g of x equals g of x, find g prime at 3. So if g of x equals g of x, find g prime at 3. First, we have to find g prime of x. Take the derivative of the outside function, leave the inside, and multiply it by the derivative of the inside. Now plug in 3 for x. So we have g prime at 3 equals g prime of g of 3 times by g prime at 3. G prime of 3 would be equal to g prime of the value of g of 3 goes here times by the value of g prime of 3. Let's see what is the value of g prime of 3. When x is 3, the value of g prime of 3 is given 5. So the value of g prime of 3 is given 5. So we have times 5 here. This is the value of g prime of 3. But also we need the value of g of 3. What is the value of g of 3? When x is 3, the value of g of 3 is 2. So that value is 2. When x is 2, g prime at 2 is given 9. So the value of g prime of 2 is 9. So finally g prime of 3 equals 9 times 5 equals 45. I hope you liked this video and see you in the next videos.